with the president? What will the focus of that visit be?
Testing. And what does testing mean, and how do we do it? Testing system. And as we test more, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see testing. Testing is, it's going to come down to testing. You're going to be testing. Testing. This tests, but you have to have that testing, and you have to have that testing on a scale to test and test quickly. So testing is rapid testing, 15-minute tests. Testing capacity. You can then test if a person tests, again, testing capacity.
All right, Caitlin, thank you very much. And I want to go now to Dr. Sanjay Gupta, along with Dr. Jonathan Reiner, who advised the White House medical team under President George W. Bush, currently director of the Cardiac Cath Lab at GW, and Dana Bash, our chief political correspondent. So, Dr. Reiner, let me start with you. The president says that, you know, he wore a mask where no one could see him, but he was very plain. I will not wear it in front of cameras because he doesn't want to give the press the pleasure of seeing it. Again, it shouldn't be about the press. It should be about all the people who, you know, believed in him and looked to him for guidance, right?
Yeah. Erin, I used to think that the president's stubborn refusal to wear a mask was basically a toxic mix of arrogance and ignorance. But I think he knows just what he's doing. He doesn't want to wear a mask. He refuses to wear a mask because it conflicts with his narrative, which is we're moving back to normal. Not to a new normal, you know, we're not going to try and recover. We're going back to normal. And if he's seen wearing a mask, that's not normal. The problem with that is that every time he refuses to wear a mask in public, more and more people refuse to wear a mask in public. And then the virus spikes, and then people die. So I really believe that the president's refusal to wear a mask in public has cost many lives. I think he's responsible for deaths when he doesn't wear a mask.
Sanjay, you know, it's a pretty powerful thing that Dr. Reiner just said. And, you know, he didn't wear the mask on that Michigan trip where anyone could see him. He didn't wear one as he met with African-American leaders. Others in the room at that point weren't wearing masks either. We presume they got that test before they were around him, which has a double-digit false negative rate. The president then walked around. They got that test before they were around him, which has a double-digit false negative rate. The president. They got that test before they were around him, which has a double-digit false negative rate. The president.
They got that test before they were around him, which has a double-digit false negative rate. The president.
Tests, we know that there could be inaccuracy of what, up to 15%?
I mean, even higher than that, according to some studies. And as you'll see,
tests, we know that there could be inaccuracy of what, up to 15%?
I mean, even higher than that, according to some studies. And as you'll see
in those images, the people around him were tested, and what are they doing? They're still wearing a mask. And I should point out that 3 of the public health officials, top public health officials in the country, who may have also been exposed at the
There's a lot of confusion among people and misinformation surrounding face masks. Can you discuss that?
The masks are important for someone who's infected to prevent them from infecting someone else. Now, when you see people and look at the films in China and South Korea, whatever, everybody's wearing a mask. Right now in the United States, people should not be walking around with masks.
You're sure of it? Because people are listening really closely to this.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet. But it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. And often there are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
And can you get some schmutz sort of staying inside there?
Of course. But when you
White House, the same thing that the president has been concerned about, which is why he's been taking this medication that has no evidence that it works. They all are in, not only are they wearing masks when they're in public, but they're mostly in some form of self-quarantine. So same exact scenario, potential exposure at the White House, the three top public health officials for the country wearing masks and typically in some form of quarantine. The president obviously not in quarantine, not wearing a mask. It doesn't make sense. Luckily,
if you are taught how to observe, you cease to observe.